What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. As it's Friday, you know what that means? We are back to previewing games. It's officially dead and over. Is the bye week. We are ready to go here. Appreciate already. I see y'all coming through. Appreciate y'all for coming through. I have something going on right now with my super chats are just going off. I don't know what the deal is with my super chats. So my best thing to say would be ignore all those. I have paused them. So listen, guys, the bye week, it's over, man. It's over. But let's talk before we get into the Dolphins and Raiders stuff. Let's talk about this for a second, all right? The real thing here is that we got to discuss, that we got to talk about, is this whole injury-prone label now. Listen, everyone knows I'm a Burrow guy. I love Burrow. Burrow and Tua were my two guys in that draft. I liked them better than Herbert. I liked Jordan Love a lot too. Jordan Love started off hot. He's struggling lately. But anyways, those are my two guys. And, now with another injury to Burrow, when you look at this objectively, by the time this year is done, Burrow is going to miss about another 7 games, and he's already missed 9 through his career. That should take him up to about 16. Let's not forget, he's probably been hurt all year because they were a disaster, and that's why they've probably been struggling too. But let's go about games missed here. You're going to look at about by the end of this season, he's going to have 16 games missed. He's going to have 9 up until this point and 7 more to miss, all right? Why does that matter? Because Tua Tagovailoa has only missed 8 games up until this point. But people don't label Joe Burrow as injury prone. Lamar Jackson has missed more games over the last 2 years than Tua Tagovailoa. They don't label Lamar Jackson injury prone. Burrow is officially going to have double the amount of games missed by the end of this season if Tua continues to stay healthy and rides it. Think about that. Now, again, everyone knows I like Burrow. I'm a Joe Burrow fan. The league's better when Joe Burrow's in it and playing. But are we going to see the analysts just start to turn on him? Or, because the one thing that bugs me is, and I've said this since I joined this community in 2019, I always said the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. That's why, the arguments last year about Lamar Jackson, well, he was an MVP. Yeah, in 2019. We're now 4 years removed from that. You know what I mean? So, Burrow, the excuse isn't good enough that, he's been to an AFC championship. He's won in the playoffs. That's great. That's fantastic. But fucking yesterday don't matter today or tomorrow in the NFL. Pardon my language, but I have to be blunt here. And this is coming from a guy who is a Joe Burrow fan. Again. It's like, let's say Tua keeps balling out this year. Keeps going MVP trajectory, gets some MVP votes, whatever, or he wins it, whatever you want to say. Gets MVP votes, or he wins the whole thing. Then we win some games in the playoffs, losing everyone. Oh, man, what a year from Tua. Y'all think we're going to be talking about what he did this year, next year? Or are we going to be living in the moment? The only reason why last year is relevant to what Tua is doing this year is because we saw the potential. We saw that ceiling. And now we're living it more consistently right now. It gave us a taste of what he was capable in this offense of doing and what this offense overall was capable of doing as a unit. So, you got to label the guy injury prone. I mean, he's torn he tore every letter in the alphabet in his knee his first year, and now he's got a torn ligament in his hand. And I got to say this. Who is the brilliant person that allowed him to walk into the stadium with a brace on his wrist or hand? Scotty also bringing wins to the table. Scotty going to make me go on another rant. He says, Burrow, 29 wins in 52 games. Tua, 27 wins in 43 games. Yeah. And this is where I go off here. And this ain't even directed at you, Scotty. You just lit the spark. This whole wins aren't a QB stat argument. It's so hilarious to me. People want to blame Tua or other quarterbacks. Oh, that's the reason they lost. Oh, he's the reason they lost. So, you got people in this community that will make losses a Tua stat, but then we'll turn around and say, well, wins aren't a QB stat. Make that one make sense for me, all right? Because I've said this before, I'll say it again. When you start getting to year 3, year 4, year 5 of your career, You watch these players play. If you got a quarterback who's won a lot of games or lost games, that's going to be one of the first stats they bring up in the little box on Fox, ESPN, CBS, Prime, wherever you're watching your game. Because I've said this before, yes, wins are a quarterback stat. You want to know why? Because after 3 or 4 years, you want to see if you got a winner or not. If you want to say wins are not a quarterback stat as a rookie because a kid's finding his footing, getting his ground, okay, that's fine. I get that. That's fine. Shout out to Anthony. Anthony donates $4.99. He says Finn's gonna remind everyone what's good. 1 week off and they already forgot 7-3. Raiders gonna get the work, man. Enjoy. They need to enjoy. What they need to do is they need to enjoy all of those cigars while they can. That's what they need to do. They need to enjoy all of they can. I don't know what's going on with my super chat right now. I have absolutely zero idea. It's wilding out right now. So this whole, I mean, we're talking about like D Hugga donated days and days and days and days and days and days and days ago. I mean, we're going back here. So I don't know why it's playing those at all. So, like what is this? You know? So anyways, it's just throwing me off. This is just a weird little bug going on right now. Listen, enjoy those cigars because you're smoking that L-Pack this week. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. So, I mean, RG3 getting signed by no team. That's ridiculous. I saw this guy. Listen. How many times you got all these people trying to spin this first read narrative? How many times have I brought up? I brought up literally the chart, right? Literally the chart. These narratives are so lazy and so ignorant, it's unbelievable. But the first read narrative is the same thing, right? There's a chart out there right now. I was gonna actually bring it up on one of the last shows. Like Tyreek Hill, the amount of double coverage he sees and Waddle sees is ridiculous. And so, these narratives are just, I've never seen a quarterback, I've never seen like character and player and ability assassination attempts the way I've seen on this guy. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And the most irritating thing is some of it comes from in our own fan base, and it comes from people who don't even know what they're talking about but want to sit up here and act like they know what they're talking about. So it's wild to me, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you actually look at the analytics, there's only 6 or 7 quarterbacks in the NFL who throw to their first read less than Tua. So this whole first read narrative is the dumbest thing in the world, because Tua at throwing to his second read, I think he's 24th in the NFL throwing to his first read. Meaning there's 23 quarterbacks out of 32 starters who throw to their first read more than Tua does. But they'll try and tell you that Tua throws to his first read all the time, or he's a one-read quarterback. That's how insane these people are and how delusional they are. And again, people masquerading as something they're not, thinking they know football, thinking they're intelligent enough to educate you guys on football when they're not even educated themselves. And this goes from our own community all the way to the national media, because we got a real problem of idiots and journalists who only know where to put the comma and the question marks. Nothing more that goes on in between that. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? And think of, keeping on that, Castro, think of how many of those receivers are open that Tua created by looking off a safety, by manipulating a linebacker. Think about this. And see, listen, let me tell you all this. This is the last channel you can ever pull any of these bullshit narratives or agendas through. Anyone who watches my channel daily or anyone who watches us week in, week out, y'all watch the film yourselves every Tuesday. Y'all have seen if you've been watching since day one of Tua Tuesday, when I started that 4 years ago, you've literally seen every Tua throw at the NFL level. Every single one. So you can sit here and you can be like, yo, you can distinguish, bullshit from reality pretty quickly if you watch this channel. That's for one thing, you know what I mean? So, that's the reality of the situation. Let's be honest here. So these people that want to pull the agendas and the narratives, the people that don't slip by are the naive casuals. That people who don't watch the reps, who don't know how to watch the reps, even if they listen to these idiots trying to do a film breakdown, it's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. Because these people don't know themselves, they're just taking this word as gospel instead of, because they're too lazy and ignorant to do the research themselves or to learn themselves. That's why I've always said, whether it comes to player evaluation, whether it comes to all 22 breakdowns of Tua, whatever the case may be, what do I always say? I literally say it all the time. Listen, go ahead. If you want to take my word at face value, go ahead, because I'm a lot more educated than a lot of these other people out here. But at the end of the day, don't even take my word at face value. I tell all of you, go out and do the work for yourself. Go learn how to do it for yourself so you can see what I say and then put it up against what you see if you know what you're looking for, if you know what you're talking about. So then just use me as a comparison to what your notes are, to what you think, what you have. Use me in that sense. I've actually said don't use me as gospel. It is what it is. Now, I will say to the naive casuals, if there's anyone you're going to use as gospel, it's probably me. But I would even stay still. If you're going to be a fan of this game, if you're going to devote yourself or you're watching YouTube channels and taking in more content than just the game, do the research. Become more knowledgeable. Listen, knowledge is power. Knowledge. I remember one time, someone on Facebook, I'll never forget this. In 2010, I'll never forget this as long as I live. 2010, someone posted on a mutual friend who I have a lot of friends with, et cetera, posted this on Facebook and said, what would you rather have in the world? All the money or all the knowledge? And the amount of people that were, oh, I'd take all the money. Oh, I'd take all the money. I'm sitting back here and I'm like, this is how naive, lazy, and ignorant just the general public is. And this is how slow they are. Okay? And remember, in this group, or some of them are my friends I partied with, et cetera, et cetera. Anyone who would say they would take all of the money in the world over all of the knowledge in the world has to be the dumbest person in the world. There's a reason why you're saying all the money. Because if I have all the knowledge in the world, I can get all the money in the world. I can take your money, his money, their money, her money. I can take everything with all the knowledge in the world. But that's how stupid these people are. And it's the same thing into football, man. Right? You get these same naive people who aren't exactly think tanks for themselves. And they are the literal definition of the blind following the blind. Literal definition of it. And they'll keep going on their merry way. That's just how these people, and that's not even I'm not even using that comparison to the community. That was just a general story to tell you that's just how mankind is. That's the human thought process. So, does it shock me that we have naive, misguided, misinformed, confused casuals in our fan base? No, because, I mean, that's basically describing most of mankind right there. You know what I mean? So, anyways, went off topic there, but it is what it is. All these people who push the narrative that Tua's injury prone, that Tua's this, well, I better hear for Burrow now. Burrow going to have double the amount of games. He's going to have 16 games missed by the end of this season while Tua's only missed 8. I better hear that narrative change. I'm gonna start calling names if I start hearing that. I'm done. I'm done. So, listen, is what it is. Is what it is. But Burrow, love the kid, love the talent. He is officially injury prone. It is what it, and I hope we find out the extent of that injury, because that's in the throwing hand. Oh boy. Oh boy. What's funny is Tua's only ever had a concussion at the NFL level one season. That was last year. So he doesn't have them yearly. That was just an absolute terrible effort at trolling. But there's the bench. Go take a seat on it, Maxi. Enjoy the bench. So I just benched. Was that Maxi Pad? Is that what his name was? I think his name was Maxi Pad. Maxi Pad just got benched. He's on the bench. You know, you can get the water for us if we need anything. But until then, you're on the bench, kid. So there goes Maxi Pad. What's going on, Skippy? Aaron Berg, don't even start with me, okay? Listen, in one of our fantasy teams this year, I had Burrow, Mixon, and Jamar Chase. Okay? Not only I had the bad start, and now I got to put up with this. That team was losing by like 3 points, 1 point. It was ridiculous. I just won like my first game last week. That's the first time that's ever happened in fantasy. I can't even remember a time where I've had that bad of a start. I'm never drafting a Cincinnati Bengal again in fantasy after this year. Let that be known. Let that be known. I'm never, ever drafting a Bengal after this year. Burrow, Chase, and Mixon basically made it, even with Burrow healthy, they dug me such a deep grave that I was like, it was impossible for me to dig out of. So, anyways, while the other league, I'm staying afloat and I'm mix and matching everything. It's crazy. So, but that one put me way too far behind. Your number one running back, your number one receiver, and your quarterback one all were absolutely poobella to start the season. So, it hurts, man. It hurts. All right, let's get into this. We're going to get into the preview of the game. Then I want to talk about, times have changed. I hope MaxiPad sticks around for the final segment here, because times have changed, baby. And we're going to get into all of that in a little bit here. So let's get into the preview for this week. Over 260 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Before we do get into all that, I just want to take a chance. Thank you, all my Patrons and channel members. I mean, there's over 450 of you total when we combine you guys. So, man, thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you can't donate, if you can't become a Patreon or a channel member, hey, it's free. It costs nothing. Just smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. It helps me out with my friend Al algorithm, and it goes a far way. It takes less than 3 seconds, and it costs you nothing. I also want to shout out Vibes Miami. Go check out vibesmiami.com. Use code REASON. Get 15% off. If you're a Patreon or a channel member, you can either go under the community tab or over to Patreon. You have a special discount code that will get you 25%. Go use that. Right now, I'm rocking my Tua Tagovailoa #1 Miami Knights. But don't forget, we are giving away this same shirt that I am wearing. We are giving a Hill one away to Patreons, and then a Waddle one away to channel members. So if you're a channel member and a Patreon, you're automatically entered in those. Nothing for you to do. But for all the general public and subscribers, I'm giving away a version of the one I'm wearing. I'm giving away the Tua Tagovailoa one right here. And I'm going to be, there's about another, I'll probably give it away next weekend. So to enter that, go to episode 901, like the video, comment using hashtag MVP. Tell me who your MVP was at the mid-season point, and make sure you're publicly subscribed to the channel, and you're automatically entered. That's all you have to do. The link to episode 901 is in the description down below. Shout out to Castro. See, Castro is now entered into if he also does the one for the Tua stuff, he's entered in automatically. He's entered into the Waddle draw. All right, that's just for channel members, and the Hill ones for Patreon members only. So, and then if you're a channel member and a Patreon, you're into both draws. So that's all you got to do. Shout out to Vibes Miami. Appreciate the support. And man, they got great. They just got those those Fin Shop trucker hats that everyone loves. They just got a new batch in. So go use my discount code right now, and you can go get one of those Fin Pro Shop hats. I'm telling y'all, use it. Be smart. All right, let's get into everything. Let's start out with the weather report for all of you going on this beautiful Sunday. It is going to be about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to get down to it's going to get down to about 78, but it's going to feel like 82 to 83. We are going to have some gusts, 13 to 15 mile per hour gusts out of it looks like northwest, even to the northeast by the final quarter. There's not going to be not a high chance of precipitation. And there is going to be about a 0.25% cloud coverage during the game. So, hey, man, I wish it was a little bit hotter, man. I wish it was a little bit hotter for those Raider players, because you're getting too used to playing indoors with that nice cushiony AC life. And, I'm just saying. So, hey, if you're looking to go to the game, be safe at your tailgate. Have fun. And make sure hey, man, wear that white. All the white you got, wear it. Dress appropriately, all right? Because it's going to get hot. It's going to get hot. So, shout out to all of you that are going this Sunday. Be loud, be proud, and make sure the Raiders can't hear a damn thing when they're on offense. Knight says, I'm not going to lie, a Ravens versus Dolphins AFC Championship game in The Rock would be lit. It would be, but do we want to see that again after we beat them in Baltimore this year? You know who I'm telling you. Somehow, some way, I want us to get the 1 seed, and I want the Chiefs to come to The Rock for the AFC Championship. Come to The Rock. Come. Let's see what you got. I want that. If you could give me any matchup in the AFC Championship, now that Burrow is out, I want Mahomes and the Chiefs at Hard Rock Stadium. That would be my picture perfect, because we would whoop that ass in Hard Rock. I'm telling you right now. Telling you right now. Give me that all day. All day. We won't beat ourselves that time. I'm telling you right now. So, give me them at The Rock. Let's go. Continuing on here, your injury report. And listen, we got a couple of things to talk about here. All right. Chase Claypool is out. Robert Hunt is out. Robert Jones is out. De'Von Achane, questionable. Expect him to get activated. By the way, Robbie Chosen did clear waivers, so expect him to come back. Braxton Berrios is questionable. From what I understand, Braxton Berrios left practice today, guys. They were seeing how he was going to be heading into I don't think Braxton Berrios suits up on Sunday. If you look at it, they wanted to see how he was going to respond today to practice, and it didn't go very well. So, that's, to me, that is not a good thing. I would not be expecting Braxton Berrios to suit up. I really wouldn't. Now, that's just is what it is, I think. That's just is what it is. So, it's tough, man. It's it's tough that we're not going to have him again, but it literally just is what it is at this point. It literally just is what it is at this point. Claypool is going to have to step up, and, hey, we'll see what happens. Shout out to Knight. He gifted one Phinside NFL membership. Appreciate you for gifting that, Knight. Look at this. And Craycraft's back, so we're good. Our third guy is back. Our third guy is back, so we're good. So Claypool's out this Sunday. It's going to be Craycraft show, baby. It's going to be the Craycraft show. So takeaways. Tyreek Hill also, if you look at his name's bolded because he popped up on the injury report out of nowhere today. So I don't know what happened there. Now on the other side, Colton Miller, Dylan Parham, they got some offensive line issues going on right now. But I expect Max Crosby, Marcus Peters, and Greg Van Roten to play. Now, I don't know if Colton Miller's going to play. It looks like he's trying to be getting it in. Trying to get it in. He went from not practicing to limited sessions, so he could potentially be eligible to play. We'll see how that works out. So, I don't know. That's very, very interesting to see how all this was going to work out. Very interesting. Personally, I think, we're going to have a chance that offensive line, they are going to have a serious chance to feast this weekend. They really are. They really, really are. Knight says, Marcel said it wasn't injury related for Hill. Well, thank God Almighty. Thank God Almighty. All right. Now, let's see how these teams stack up against each other. Over 300 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Total offense. You got the number one offense going against the 31st offense. You look at the passing offense. The Miami Dolphins still have, after the bye, the number one passing offense in the NFL. Now, you look at the rushing offense. The Dolphins coming out of the bye have the number 2 rushing offense. They have the 23rd and 30th, and then the 27th scoring offense. Oh, boy. Davante Adams, I'm telling you. Davante Adams and Aiden O'Connell became what he's paying on like FanDuel and stuff is ridiculous. 29th third down offense against a 16th third down offense. So, man, you might have one of the most inept offenses in the NFL coming into the Rock. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter whether you're a really good team or a really bad team, you were going to get work this weekend for what you were going to pay for the sins of the Chiefs, basically. And that's why I think this could get real bad. This could get real bad. Now, when we get defense, look at the Dolphins' defense, ladies and gentlemen. Look at where we're at ranking-wise after where we started out after the Chargers game. Man, I remember people, Fangio, fire him. This defense sucks. Now we're the number 12 overall defense. And we're coming for top 10. I want y'all, listen. This team is coming for it. All right? If you look at this team on the road and you look at them at home, okay? I mean, first of all, 16-2 in our last 18 home games. All right? Think about that for a second. That's just what the deal is. All right? On top of that, if you look at the numbers, if you break down the numbers, I mean, the Dolphins were scoring like 43.5 points at home and allowing 18.6. The Raiders are scoring like 14 points on the road, allowing 28.6. Okay, but if you also look, this team right now at home if you look at the numbers they're putting up on the road and at home, the Miami Dolphins would be a top 3 offense and top 3 defense in the NFL if you were just to go off how we're playing at home. Right now, this team at home is, even the defense is playing at a super high level at home when you break down the numbers. And, Fangio's defense plays its best football at home, and it's just starting to click. And it's just starting to click. That's what's crazy, man. So, I don't know, man. When you look at these numbers and you look at this team at home, defensively, offensively, they're damn near unstoppable at home. That's a reality to the situation. So, I mean, and Mike McDaniel, he's 9-0 at home with Tua Tagovailoa? When Tua's healthy? When Tua's healthy, Mike McDaniel hasn't lost at home yet. They have, when you look at home, their EPA is like ridiculous level number 1, like best in the NFL. So, this is why I said after we lost to the Bills, we need home field advantage. Now, the Raiders, they got a good defense, though. That's their strength. They have the 18th overall defense. They have the number 8 passing defense. We have the 13th. They're allowing less than 200 yards per game. Rushing defense, they are allowing about 135. So, again, you know what time it is. We have the 13th rushing defense in the NFL. After the gashing we took in the Chargers game, things are starting to even out, and look at where we're at right now. Sacks, Dolphins 9th in the NFL with 29. They're 13th. They have 26. Third down defense, we're 12th. We're allowing about a 36.8 clip. They're 27th. They're allowing a higher third down conversion rate than our offense, which is 16th, is converting at. So that's gonna matter when we get into things here too. And in terms of takeaways, Dolphins 9th in the NFL, 20. They have 9, which is 27th in the NFL. The Raiders have 11, which is 20th in the NFL. Now, giveaways, the Dolphins have given away the ball 13 times, which is middle of the pack. They've given away the ball 18 times, which is bottom of the league. So that's how these two, it's very lopsided on offense. A little more even on defense when you look at how these two stack up. But again, our numbers on defense are also skewed by the Chargers game, right? And you look at the defense we've got the last couple games, this isn't the same defense that went up against the Chargers. The players are talking about how comfortable they are with each other, and that's why things are clicking, et cetera, et cetera. So, man, a lot to look forward to here. A lot to look forward to heading into this weekend. So let's get into my keys to victory. Let's start off with the offense, and you already know what time it is. Unleash Achane. Stop right now. Let's go. All right. I don't want to see Ahmed. I better not see Salvin Ahmed getting more than 4 or 5 reps. Stop this right now. Get my boy back in there. If he was healthy enough to play with the brace, he's healthy enough to just unleash. Let him go to work. Okay? And if you get out ahead, sit him. If we're up like 35-3 and Achane has gotten some reps in, bench him. Keep him healthy for the next game. If we're going to start blowing out teams, a guy like coming out of then you give him his time. Then you give him the time to sit on the bench and rest. You did what you got to do. Let's get to the next one. And like Robert said, then Ahmed can only have some garbage time reps. But if you get out ahead on these teams, I'm going to tell you right now, this is how I'm handling the second half. We get out ahead on these teams 42-3, 40, whatever, 42-10, whatever, 35, whatever. I'm pulling starters at the end of the third quarter. I'm keeping these guys as healthy as possible for this run, baby. And a team want to go out there and score 3 touchdowns and make it maybe a little bit closer because my backup offense isn't good. Knock yourself out, but we'll still get the dub. I'm treating it like college, baby. Try and blow these teams out and try and get your starters sitting in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I think Jeff Wilson will continue to be used, but I think, Salvon Ahmed's going to be, whittled out. Interior offensive line is going to need to hold its own. Guys, the word is Robert Hunt at right guard. Robert Hunt at right guard is out. Liam Eichenberg will be in for him. Isaiah Wynn, from what I've heard, is going to be probably until the end of the season. Well, his backup, Robert Jones, is now out. So, Lester Cotton at left guard. And that's just where we're at right now. Now, thankfully, a lot of their pressure comes off the edge. Max Crosby, just put in perspective. The Raiders right now have 177 pressures. 58 of them are from Max Crosby. Now, they can still stun him on the inside to Eichenberg and such. So, they're not super strong on the interior. Like, Adam Butler and Tillery are probably like their best interior guys. They're not, they're not really that strong. John Jenkins is there too. But anyways, I digress. This interior, you're going to have to earn your paycheck this game. Robert Hunt, we can't afford any miscues because we're already banking on having to compensate for miscues from the guy on your left and the guy on your right. So, that interior, Liam, Lester, y'all are gonna your names start with L's, but you better not be taking them in the trenches, all right? We need that interior offensive line to hold its own. All right? We've seen, listen, Tua can shift up and move in and about the pocket if the edges collapse, but when that interior starts collapsing, that starts throwing off the timing of our offense. Our quarterback starts taking hits because he got nowhere to go, et cetera, et cetera. Now, third key, you're going to have to keep third downs manageable, and you're going to have to convert them. We're going to need better than what we got against the Chiefs last week. That's just a fact. 2 weeks ago. We need better than the 3 for 12 y'all were on third down. And a lot of it was because you're taking penalties and getting yourselves into third and longs. Listen, I don't care whether it's the Raiders. I don't care whether it's a junior varsity team from Pembroke Pines. I don't care. Use these reps to get better on third down. Keep them manageable and convert them. That's it. So, unleash Achane. Interior offensive line needs to hold its own. And keep third downs manageable and convert them. Those are my keys offensively. And everything will take care of itself, Now, flipping over to the defensive side and my defensive keys to victory. You got to make Aiden O'Connell see ghosts. Colton Miller is potentially going to be out and miss this game. And listen, when you look at that offense and you look at them right now, I as a unit, they've allowed 88 pressures. Jermaine Illuminor has allowed 16. Andre James, right up that middle, has allowed 13. Munford has allowed 12 himself. Colton Miller has allowed 12 himself. So, listen, you're going to have to make Aiden see ghosts, make him uncomfortable, hit him. Not everything has to be a sack. I mean, Illuminor's given up 5 sacks. Andre James has given up 3. Greg Van Rotten's given up 3. And Parham's given up 3. Hit him. Make him not want to drop back. Make him just rule the day he had to face you. You know? So let's make Aiden O'Connell see ghosts, because this kid's not that good. Secondly is, hey man, you cannot let them control the clock with Josh Jacobs. You just can't. All right. Josh Jacobs probably their best player right now. Yes, and I am including Davante Adams, but he got no one to get on the ball. But Josh Jacobs already has 622 yards. All right, he has 5 touchdowns. All right. You know, he's finishing drives for them. I mean, look at it. You know, he has more touchdowns than Davante Adams is the only one who has one more touchdown to him. But when you look at Davante Adams has not scored a touchdown in what? Davante Adams hasn't scored a touchdown since Davante Adams hasn't scored a touchdown since the Pittsburgh game. It's like week 3. So Davante Adams has 3 receiving touchdowns. Jacoby Myers was the one I was saying. He has 5. He's tied with Josh Jacobs. So, listen. Don't let them control the clock with Josh Jacobs. Because the other thing, too, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I've seen that I'm surprised... Well, we haven't really faced run games good enough to do it yet. But I'm going to tell you, the secret to beating... You want to know the secret to beating our offense? I'm going to tell you the secret to beating our offense. It's a good run game. If you can keep us off the field and control... It's what the Panthers did to us in the first quarter and a half. They kept us off the field. If you can have a good run game that can... The way to beat us is to have a good offense that can run the football. The best defense is literally a good running offense against us. If you keep us off the field, we can't score points. And then, by keeping us off the field, you make every rep, every down count, because you don't know when you're going to see the ball again. Fake Spike says, how many sacks will the Dolphins have this Sunday? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Let me see. Well, when they played New York, when they played New York, they only took 3 sacks, or what was it, 2 or 3 sacks when they played New York. So, I don't know if I'm really. Yeah, they took 3 sacks. I'm gonna go and say. I mean, you look at what New York, they beat the Giants before that, right? And the Giants didn't even get a sack on them, I believe. But they sacked the Giants 8 times. I think maybe we get 3 or 4 sacks tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be a sack fest. But I'll take 3 or 4. And then Ramsey and X's no-fly zone. Listen. Where I'm at with this on this. If you lock down Adams and Myers, they have nothing except Michael Mayer to throw to. You take away Jacoby Myers and Davante Adams, and you also don't let them control the clock with Josh Jacobs and Aiden O'Connell seeing ghosts, that offense is a mess. If these three keys happen, it's a mess. Mess. And, Rams even said today he's not fully there yet, but he will be. But, man, I expect, we might only have 3-4 sacks maybe. We might have 1 or 2 picks. So, defensive keys for me to victory: make Aiden O'Connell see goes. Don't let them control the clock with Josh Jacobs. And Rams and X's no-fly zone. Now, I know y'all love this. Every week I do it. My matchup to watch. My matchup to watch this week. It's Tyreek and Waddle. It's got to be Tyreek and Waddle against Marcus Peters and I guess you could call him their number 2 guy, Jacorian Bennett right now. Listen, Jacorian Bennett, let's start off with him. Jacorian Bennett right now, all right? If you look at Jacorian Bennett, he's allowing 105.6 NFL passer rating when he's been targeted. He's allowed 1 touchdown. He has allowed 115 yards after the catch, and he's allowed 270 yards on 21 receptions. So, people are averaging about 12.9 yards per reception against him. All right? Because Nate Hobbs is mainly their he's mainly their slot guy. He's in the slot for him, so that's why I don't have Nate Hobbs in here. But then when you flip over, all right, and you look at Marcus Peters right now, all right? Marcus Peters, he's allowed 3 touchdowns. He's allowing a 99.7 NFL passer rating when he's targeted. He's allowed 119 yards after the catch and about 9.9 yards per reception. He's allowed 287 yards on 29 receptions right now. I mean, Marcus Peters is their best guy, and this isn't Marcus Peters 5-6 years ago. So, you've got a chance. I mean, between Marcus Peters and Jacorian Bennett, we're talking about 4 touchdowns allowed, only 1 interception, and about 234 yards after the catch with about 557 yards allowed on 50 catches between the 2 of them. So, we all want Waddle to be better. We all need him to be better. But guess what? This is the chance for Waddle to break out. Hopefully he's as healthy as he's been all year, because this is going to be his chance to break out in this matchup. Fake Spike says, I need a 2. It's coming, baby. Don't worry. I got you. If Herbert had McDaniel, he would be better. Okay. But Herbert has Keenan Allen. And he's had him since he entered the league. He had Mike Williams since he entered the league. He had Hunter Henry in year 1. He has arguably the best pass catching back in the NFL in Austin Eckler. Y'all always move the goalposts with Herbert. Here's the fact of the deal is Herbert wouldn't be better in this offense. This offense is about timing and the intermediate and the short level and pinpoint accuracy and quick processing. Herbert is not suited for. Herbert's more of, you want an ISO, an ISO offense. Herbert's doesn't have the perfect skill set for this offense like Tua does. There's a reason why people are out here saying, oh, I want to see Tua in the Sean Payton offense, and I was sitting here saying, no, I want to see him in the Kyle Shanahan offense. Tua is literally the perfect quarterback for the West Coast. Griffin Gaming says Miami on pace to be the first offense since 1941 Bears to lead in pass offense, rush offense, and scoring offense. But the real thing is we're on pace to be about 74 yards short of the 2011 New Orleans Saints, who set the record for the most yards by an offense. I want to break that one, baby. That's what I want to break. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. So, all right, continuing on, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of the offensive line and everything here, I thought this was interesting. I wanted to go over it with all of you guys before we get into everything. And speaking of Tua and Herbert, check this out. ESPN analysts were asked to play a version of start, bench, and cut. And check out, interesting.
Start, bench, cut, it's Tua, Herbert, and Jalen Hurts. I'm going to start Tua just because he's played the best. I'm going to cut Herbert, and I'm going to bench Jalen because of the turnovers. That's a tough one, though, because I do think Herbert's a superstar.
So I'm starting Tua Tagovailoa. I think his accuracy is unbelievable, and with the skilled position players that I have, I know he's going to be the best starter. I'm going to bench Jalen Hurts. I love Jalen Hurts. I think he's MVP caliber player, but I know he's been really great in relief of Tua Tagovailoa at times. Go all the way back to Alabama for that one, okay? Check the tape. And I'm cutting Justin Herbert. I don't like to do it, but they're making me pick somebody I got to cut. I love Herbert. I'm sorry, Justin. You're not going to make the cut here.
I'm going to start Jalen Hurts because he gives me the most of both worlds. I need a dual threat quarterback, non-negotiable on my squad. I'm going to bench Tua because I feel like he does really well getting the ball out. And just in case my O-line isn't what it needs to be, I need a quarterback who can process quickly. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut Herbert. I don't want to cut Herbert, but I'm going to have to cut Herbert just because sometimes he's super talented, but in some of these moments it feels a little boom or bust. It's early, though. I'm a big Herbert fan. This is the only options they gave us. That's what we say.
My, how times have changed, ladies and gentlemen. We've now got to the point that ESPN analysts are straight up choosing Tua over Herbert and even saying they like Herbert. They're fans of Herbert. But here's the deal. Tua's better. Tua's the better pocket quarterback right now. Tua's the better passer of the football right now. That's just what it is. So, my, how quick everything has changed. That's unbelievable right now. And let's get into some of the numbers as to why some of that might have changed. Why aren't they using Claypool? He's a huge target because he's still getting acclimated to the offense. This offense is not something you just learn overnight. This isn't Madden. He's still getting used to the offense, and now he's hurt and he's out. So, but anyways, continuing on, exploring a critical development of this Dolphins season, how Tagovailoa has benefited. Perhaps the most pleasant and significant surprise of this Dolphins season, which resumes at home Sunday against Las Vegas, has been the team's ability to dramatically reduce the number of quarterback pressures, and it's vital that the Dolphins continue doing that, because as good as Tua Tagovailoa has been overall this season, his performance when faced with heavy pass rush ranks near the bottom of the league this year, according to a prominent metrics site. The same is true with Kansas City's Patrick Mahomes, for that matter. You guys saw what used to happen to Brady when we used to get pressure on him, right? It happened to Brady too. The Dolphins, according to Pro Football Reference, have allowed just 49 quarterback pressures, third fewest in the league, and a pace for 92 for the season. As a perspective, the Dolphins permitted 158 pressures last year. Miami has yielded just 15 sacks, third fewest in the league. Austin Jackson has permitted just 1 sack and 351 pass blocking chances, and Robert Hunt has yielded just 1 in 275. Connor Williams hasn't allowed any sacks and 174 pass blocking snaps, while left tackle Terron Armstead hasn't permitted any in 83. That's supremely impressive work by 4 of the starters. The loss of left guard Isaiah Wynn, potentially for the season, was damaging because he had not yielded a sack in 224 pass blocking snaps before his significant quadriceps injury against Philly. Miami must hope that Lester Cotton, who's allowed 1 sack, 9 pressures, and 123 pass blocking snaps, and Liam Eichenberg, who's allowed 2 sacks, 7 pressures, and 187 pass blocking snaps, can adequately replace both Win for now and Hunt for now, who should return in late November or early December. Also notable, PFF says no Dolphins running back or tight end has allowed a sack. And Tagovailoa's quick release has helped curtail sacks. PFF has a metric where it determines whether to blame the quarterback for plays that result in pressures or sacks. PFF has blamed Tagovailoa for only 6 of his pressures, compared with 26 apiece for Mahomes and Jalen Hurts this year. What's more, PFF ranks Tagovailoa as the NFL's best quarterback against the blitz this year, in part because he gets the ball out so quickly and usually so accurately. Keeping Tagovailoa's pocket clean is vital for obvious reasons, keeping him healthy, sustaining drives, but also for more nuanced reason. When Tagovailoa has been heavily pressured this season, he has struggled, as he did before Mike McDaniel's arrival, but unlike last season. In 2022, Tagovailoa had a 91.6 passer rating in the face of a heavy pass rush that was second best among starters, behind only Josh Allen. This season, Tagovailoa's passer rating under pressure is 52.8, which is 27th among starters, 2 spots behind Mahomes. That's comparable to Tagovailoa's 54.8 passer rating under pressure in his final season playing for Flores, which was 54.8. This season, Tagovailoa has completed only 38.2% of his passes when under pressure. Among full-time starters, only Matt Stafford has been worse. Tagovailoa has 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions when under pressure per PFF. Conversely, he has 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 76.2 completion percentage, and 118 passer rating when he has a clean pocket, which is second best behind Brock Purdy. Tagovailoa has faced heavy pressure on less than 15% of his dropbacks, which is third fewest in the league, and that's despite the fact he's been blitzed 94 times, which is the 10th most in the league amongst starting quarterbacks per Pro Football Reference. So how can Tagovailoa excel against the blitz but generally struggle this season when pressured heavily by opposing pass rushers? P's and Q's and understanding what you have to run and the timing of the play. Tagovailoa is throwing 2.1 seconds after the snap on average, which ranks among the NFL's quickest. So besides keeping all the key starters healthy, there's nothing more important than keeping Tagovailoa's pocket clean. FYI, Tagovailoa is second in the league in passer rating at 106.4, has remained very good on passes thrown 20 or more air yards. His 48.6% accuracy on those throws, 17 for 35, is 5th best for quarterbacks who have attempted at least 30 of those throws. His 606 passing yards on those plays are 3rd most behind C.J. Stroud and Jalen Hurts. He has 7 touchdown passes, tied with Hurts for the most, and 4 interceptions on those throws that travel at least 20 air yards. And I think this is even more of a reason of why, listen, you could sign Connor Williams and Robert Hunt back for the same price it's going to cost Christian Wilkins. Right there is even more evidence of why you got to keep Tua Tagovailoa clean, and just for the offense, right? The timing of the offense and efficiency of the offense, you got to keep him clean. It's not even just about keeping him upright, obviously, which is a big thing we got to focus on and we are focused on doing. But, keeping him upright, I think they might have jumped the gun on Siler because I do not see them spending. Think about it. Siler makes over $10 million. Wilkins is going to want over $24 million. You think this team's going to spend over $35 million on 2 interior defensive linemen? That's where the Commanders went wrong. They had to shift off both Chase Young and Montez Sweat because so much money went to Payne and Allen, when in reality, they should have kept one of Allen and Payne and one of Sweat and Chase Young, and then moved off one of the interior guys and the odd man remaining out at edge. So, and listen, you franchise tag him. He turns 29 next year. I don't see us paying him after that year a big extension where he's going to turn 30 during the first year of that extension. But stranger things have happened. But that article is even more reason why you got to take care of this offensive line, man. You got to make sure it's intact, especially next year. Listen, as we go through this transitional phase, losing players, it's going to be even more important to keep Tua Tagovailoa upright so the offense can keep us in games even if we're losing players, all right? TR says the criticism of Tua being hurt now, Burrow out for the season again. Yeah, man. I mean, I opened the show with this. It's official. Burrow's more injury prone than Tua Tagovailoa. He's going to miss 7 more games this season. He's already missed 9. That's going to equate to 16 games missed. Tua has missed 8. He's standing to miss double the amount of games Tua has missed at the professional level. I don't know what to say. That is what it is. And this is coming from a guy who's a big Burrow guy. I believe in that guy. But he's injury prone. That's a conversation that needs to be had. That's the guy you should be pointing at and saying is injury prone. Guys, I'm going to be back on Sunday for the live reaction. Ball's back, baby. And then we're going to open it up for the 5th quarter postgame show. After the show, I'll be live before 1 o'clock. Make sure you tune in. Do me the favor right here before you leave. Smash that like button. Over 350 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I appreciate each and every one of you. And you know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day. See y'all on Sunday, baby.